here, robotics fans.
Keep doing it.
No, get out.
It's like bonus points. They don't even have to like Warbotics. They
Yeah.
just know that you don't.
Right.
So that's great.
Oh, man.
All right. So these are both really good teams too.
Do you read this?
What's that? Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'm glad
manhole.
people like the vest. That's
Yeah.
good. I might have to wear that more often.
Oh, we've got Liberty Rampart. Best Rampart.
Okay, so then you want to watch Rampart?
Let's watch
then?
Rampart's team this time. I
All
want to
right.
see what kind of synergy that they pop out here. They've got actually, they didn't go with the Knicks. They ended up going with Lockwood, which they can still pull people.
Blue team has Knicks.
Oh, blue team has Knicks.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. All right, so Lockwood here with the Rampart Trap is pretty good, as well as L. Now, oftentimes people have trouble getting her. I like this aggressive opening here, especially for this Rampart.
Well,
He can
look
actually
at-
shield a lot of damage here.
Look at Alek, man. Alek, big ball in it, like out there as Knicks in
Knicks.
front of the rest of his team.
He's not invis either.
I am really interested to see where he goes with
Yeah.
this because I have
Absolutely.
no idea.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
So L's lurker drone can oftentimes be very difficult to get people to fall into, but with Rampart you could actually make that happen. Also, you can bait people to chase the Knicks into the drone and do some surprise burst damage, which can oftentimes make people run scared.
Exactly. And Frost gonna go ahead and use that trap right away. He's like, well, Alek's got to be moving back.
He's got to be.
He's just in a bad position, so I'm gonna use that trap. And Alek getting his drone blocked by Teemo's shield.
That does not feel
is just
good.
Gonna completely negate
Yeah.
that drone, except for like the one square that it's on. So that's
Right.
really too bad.
Right.
And Teemo in great position, throwing down the shield, essentially going to block most of the stuff that gets thrown at his whole team.
I
at
like
that
Aurora
choke point.
cutting off that choke point right there with her ion cloud. First of all, hitting Rampart behind his shield and anybody who chooses to walk through it.
Yep.
Looks
And
like
what's-
nobody, though.
What's really nice is that they got the slow on Lotib here, catching him in the big one. Unfortunately for blue team, Lotib has his, two of his rolls, and
Right.
since he's just one square within that big one, he can roll right out.
Absolutely.
If they got him caught one more square back, then
Right.
Lotib would have had.
No,
kind of
strategy-wise,
nowhere to go.
if you guys want to think about this, if you ever put somebody directly in the middle of the big one and then slow them, they can only move 2 spaces if they don't have haste, which means they're guaranteed to be in that outer ring.
Yeah.
And forcing them to either take the damage or dash or catalyst, which is great.
Yep, exactly. So as we saw, Alek able to get out of there somewhat. Lotib's going to dash out of the way. I find that dash from Saiyan kind of interesting because you've got to predict there that Lotib is going to use one of his rolls. He doesn't want to take that big one damage. So I would have held on to the jump if I were him, waiting, knowing that, okay, Lotib's going to burn one here, doesn't want to get hit by the big one, no one wants that. And then I'm going to wait on my dash and try to get him the next turn.
Absolutely. I like that it looks like Teemo on Rampart decided to stay behind cover. Now, he's a wall himself, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't use cover, and I like that he is. Every single time he's moved so far, he's taken some form of cover.
Yep, and so we see Alek sort of materializing back here, able to get out of the way. But unfortunately, and this is why I didn't like the move to go up, he's at half health now with not much to show for it.
And
he's got
a
a Lockwood on his tail.
a Lockwood who reigns supreme on any map where there are corners.
Yep, and red team, Teemo and Lockwood both saying like, yep, we're just going to keep going for that Nyx because he is such a pain in the butt. And while Lava Cookie and Lotib have a 2-on-1 here with Saiyan, Saiyan as a frontliner is just like, okay, sure. Like, do what you do.
Absolutely. No, I like that Zuki was able to get out of the damage zone. Unfortunately, she's right back in it.
Yep, yep. And Lotib has burned both of his dashes already, so again, his only out at this point is a catalyst, but he's got plenty of health, not in a whole lot of danger.
Right.
So.
Now, I like moving on to the haste and picking it up there as we saw it disappear in the darkness, but that does not mean that he is safe by any means. He might have to use his catalyst right now.
Well, and what we're seeing here is there's an interesting trade going on, which is, sure, Alek got out of the way, but now Remni is sort of out in the open as a support, and what I would like to see is if I were Frost, I would have actually decided to go for Remni, but he's trying to secure the kill, and so we'll see if that.
Well,
was
he's got to light him up here, covering the camouflage pads on the other side of the wall, which is a very common way for people to escape damage.
Yeah.
However, I don't know that he would Alek would choose to catalyst over the wall into a Rampart primary, but it looks like Rampart's not doing a primary anyway. He's going to go for the hook on, or the fusion lance on Remni's Aurora.
Yep, absolutely.
We got Battle Quark sitting there going toe-to-toe with Garrison. I'm impressed by that.
Battle Quark.
Ooh, that heal.
Yep, just
Kept
enough.
him alive.
Just enough.
Doing the math, trading some damage. And now he's got haste, so he could be just gone.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's one reason that I would have liked to have seen him just decide to go all in on Remni. Lex still got, if he uses his Catalyst here, he could shift out of damage if he decides to, if he wants to stay away one more turn. He's got 2 more turns on his invisibility, though, so.
As Alec, I would definitely be checking to see if Rampart has his wall, and if he does, I would probably choose to go ahead and use a Catalyst at that point.
Exactly. Get out of dodge. So Lotib, again, already has one of those 2 dashes back up, which I like. Oh, so Turtle Tech. That's a good call.
Now, that's tough, though, because... Oh, no, actually, that's a great call. Rampart can't quite reach him. He's already used his Fusion Lance, which means L is the only threat that he has, unless Lockwood can manage to sneak a bounce around that corner there.
Yeah, exactly. We're seeing very little from the Lotib, Talonite, Lava Cookie, Mr. Saiyan part of the map.
That's true.
They've just kind of been healing each other, doing a little bit of damage.
Staying just alive.
Exactly. Like, there's not a whole lot going on there.
So this is something that I really enjoy seeing right here, is they're telling L to stop dashing. A lot of people have problems with L. They think that she's not quite good enough, and that dash is pretty useless. But if everybody's getting frustrated enough to tell her to stop dashing, I think that's a good thing.
All right. So Alec now completely out of tricks except for that Catalyst, and we're gonna see what's going on. I've just been focused on Alec because like that move from the very beginning, I was like, this is gonna turn into a chase, right?
But he's managed to deal damage and survive, which has been pretty fantastic at 6 HP.
What you'd like to see, though, is if you've got the other team chasing your Nyx around, what you'd like to see is that the rest of your team is doing a whole bunch of damage where you kite, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, I just don't think Blue's done enough damage to Red Team here to really warrant, what they're losing with Alec. And sure enough, there comes that shift.
Needed to happen.
Had to expect it, but now they've got Red, Teemo's got his ult up. Lockwood at half health, which isn't great, but he's generated a lot of energy.
Right.
Lava Cookie's got his ult, and I mean, it's, ooh, boy.
Yeah, this is going to be a big next turn, I think. And I do like that the sticky bombs came out there from Zuki onto both Quark and onto L. Now, Quark has a really good ult here if he wants it, and he's probably going to use it. Looks like the Positronic Surge is coming out.
Yep.
And we've got some primary damage trying to go down onto Remni there. I don't think that will be... Ooh, I think Alec's dead here.
So I'm really surprised that... Oh, I guess he was planning on Lotib hitting Alec here. That's nice. I thought Frost was going to bounce his shot in there, but instead they went with Lotib just using his AoE attack, which is a smart
That's surprising, though, because Frost can actually cover that entire range of camouflage pads
it's a really interesting matchup problem is when you have a Nyx that's trying to escape from a Lockwood, because Lockwood is so good at covering area, and in both cases, L is also very good at covering area, so Alec just nowhere to run there.
Right.
And I really like how Red Team made sure to cover a lot of options for wherever he shifted to.
I actually may not have used my shift in that case. I might have just taken the death early and gone later.
Well, I think in retrospect, absolutely, knowing that he was surrounded by those two. But that's part of the problem with the 20-second times.
Yep.
Maybe not problem, but what makes the game so great is that you're trying to what are all the factors that are going on?
Absolutely.
And that's one that he may not have taken into account. Is oh crap, both Lotib and Frost can cover a whole lot of area here.
We're gonna see a great ultimate. I would love to see a great ultimate coming out of Teemo's OP here to do a really good shield. Aurora's not that scary, but with Mr. Saiyan there, actually never mind. Mr. Saiyan's just gonna ult.
Right, and that shield's gonna do nothing against the ult. So instead, Teemo is gonna try to Fusion Lance in here, and we'll see what happens. And
we got an overcharge for L because she's way out of position. That means she's going to be back to the fight and terrifying very quickly.
And terrifying. Exactly. So Lava Cookie, really good dash there. Gets out of the way of the potential ult from Garrison. We'll see if Garrison decided to hold on to it. Yep, Saiyan's like, you know what? You have outs. I'm just gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna scare the crap out of you for a couple more turns.
And we know that you are the king of holding on to your ult and scaring the crap out of people.
Of holding on to the ult, which is usually a terrible play.
But sometimes
I admire when it's done well.
The psychological factor can be fantastic. So L is now in position for probably a great ult, but does she need to do it? I don't know. They've got Teemo and Lava Cookie there to probably do at least one person down, and I think it's just a primary coming out.
Yeah, and what's really unfortunate for Blue Team here is that they did a lot of damage to Frost, but unfortunately moved way across the map from him, couldn't finish him off. Now Frost is back up to 40 health, has ult, and is going for that might. And when you see a Lockwood with ult and might, you better get the heck out of the way.
Now, I will say that you mentioned during the last game, love it, here it comes, boom. During the last game, you said that you don't see, what is it? Not brain juice. What's the other one?
A second wind.
Thank you. Second wind very often, but I love running it on Lockwood. I think he's the perfect candidate for it. I'm wondering if he is running it, though.
We can see.
We can't.
He used it.
He used it, so I don't know if it. I think that's how he got back up that high, actually. If anybody in chat saw that, please let us know.
Oh, and as Awesome Sauce says, Nyx only lived because Lockwood didn't run Reveal on Light 'em Up, and that's true. If he had run the Reveal mod on Light 'em Up, then they would have got that elect kill even faster, and it worked out for him. But
Yeah.
And we saw again, so Talonite trying to use the slow on the big one to catch Lotib in it, and unfortunately Lotib ran the opposite way than he was expecting, and it's just right outside the range of that big one.
Absolutely. If I were Zuki, I would imagine that the L would try to chase me. Get close to me because that's when she's really quite dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. So Frost came in there with the ult, able to do lethal damage on Aurora. Woo, so that hurts, and Lava Cookie's in a bad place, and Mr. Saiyans in a bad place. There's
32
a lot of
from Quark. Man, Battle Quark is serious sometimes. Yeah, everybody's kind of clumped up right now, so that is the nature of this map, though.
Yep, Saiyan finally using that ult.
Here it comes.
Teemo, ooh,
Not
16.
doing much, but dropping the health
Ooh.
maybe to help, not enough.
Yeah,
Not quite
that's
enough.
that's not gonna do too much for anyone. Maybe if he can get to it, but that's about it. So Saiyan in a really bad place. Lotib sitting on ult, and Red Team has really got the upper hand right now. I understand Teemo's low, but
Yeah.
Talonite's got an interesting decision here. If he's just gonna try to do straight damage.
I think it's just straight damage.
Teemo?
I don't think anybody else is in range, really.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Unstoppable force on Teemo. That's a good call.
If I were Garrison right here on Mr. Saiyan, I would probably try to do as much damage as possible, or not necessarily as much damage, but get as much energy as possible, because if you're going to be dead for a turn, you want to make those energy gains count.
Ooh,
He does pull the ult
Talonite.
and does reach
I
the...
did, and you know what's interesting?
think that.
I did not think he was in range of
Yeah.
getting Frost, and that's a really good move because Frost probably not expecting that he was going to use an ult there.
Right.
I like that he threw a might on it. I like that he's behind the
There it is. There it
waterfall.
is. That pretty water.
Oh, Teemo.
That is really good, but not quite enough to take him off.
No, but he has Elect backing him up
Wow.
for that kill.
And
so-
Alex got his ult too, so this is pretty dangerous for Red Team.
Yep. Teemo doing, popping a whole lot of options there to stay alive. It'll be interesting to see if that paid off or if he should have just taken the death there.
He's got a shield, and as long as they're focusing on him, they're not focusing on his teammates.
He's got a shield, and that's going to help against Zuki, and it's going to help against Alek on a normal attack, but if Alek decides to ult, then, you know, there you go. So we got some feedback that was really good, which is if you're a spectator mode, it's hard to tell what the health orbs, which team they belong to, and that is something that we're going to be looking into.
I think they should remain green with a glow around them, with a line around
there
them for
you
which
go.
color. Yeah.
In fact, there's a lot of improvements that we're going to be making to
There are.
spectator mode over time. We really wanted to get out there in an early stage so people could use it, could cast, could run tournaments, but we're going to continue to be working.
Right.
Look at the taunts for days. They're everywhere.
That was a great ult.
Low tip, boom.
Got himself out of danger, I think, and forced everybody to go exactly where they wanted him to, and now they know where Nyx is.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting about Blue Team's position here is that there's no clumping, and so Elect does not have a great ult that
True.
they can use.
Also, I want to point out that Lava Cookie purposefully walked right there to
Red
body
Team, sorry.
block for Rampart. And Rampart's going to get a nice pull off here and a heal, which means he's just going to keep staying alive. This is great.
Yeah, Lava Cookie, that is a very nice body block. I like it.
Now, I am surprised that Lava Cookie's going to run over to that Might. I hope that the Rampart is also going to move somewhere. He might not, though, because he wants to be within range to do a primary attack to the Zuki once he...
Yeah. Talonite
Ooh,
sniffing
there's
out
that
the body
30.
block, and
Yep.
that is one of the best uses of sticky bombs.
Beautiful.
Is just get through that body block, hit everyone in a cone. I'm not going to get the kill this round, but we're going to secure it next round, so that's a great move.
Low tip not dropping, but is slowed, which is really bad for an L.
Yep. All right, so there's the long pull. Look at Teemo, man. All the way back up to 79
Yeah.
health, 80 health now.
Talonite's
It's like-
definitely in a little trouble here, but I think that Talonite should just trade the damage and not go for the Quark. Absolutely trade the damage. Is that a dash coming out of Lava Cookie here?
No, just the standard
just the
attack,
primary,
yeah.
okay,
Yep. Lotib in a pretty bad position.
Pretty sure
he's
it's
just gonna
about
try
to
do
be-
some damage.
It's about to tie up the score, I think.
Yeah.
Low tip, Mr. Sane could drop here. I think Mr. Sane could drop here. This could be a trade, which
I
will keep
expect
Red
a
Team
trade.
ahead by 1.
Yep. Oh, Lotib getting out of dodge. The use of the catalyst is really nice.
Nice.
And that's what I like from Saiyan just going for the trade because, again, if Lotib uses his dash, then he's still, Mr. Saiyans not taking damage from the element.
Absolutely.
In that position. Alek. Okay, so
Wow.
they are going all in on Lava Cookie, and
Well,
unfortunately,
not all in on Lava Cookie. They
and
could
That's what I was
have.
about to say.
Yes.
You had talked about going for Rampart and not Lava Cookie.
Right.
But a little bit of teamwork there. If
Yep.
they had decided to secure that kill, they'd be, in much better position. Now they have a Rampart and a Quark still alive.
With Quark ult.
With Quark ult.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which is gonna hit Lotib as well.
Yeah, missing that
Oh
kill.
my goodness.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I want to go back in time and be like, no, guys, I was
No,
wrong.
guys! Secure the kill. Just
Yeah.
do it. Oh man. So Awesome Sauce talking about Zuki Big One and Aurora Ion Cloud occasionally causing crashes. We have a fix for that in the next major build. So
Right.
next major build we'll have that. And
Well,
it
just
will
to be clear
awesome.
too, the reason for the crash is just too much awesomeness in too few squares, and so it just your computers can't handle it and goes, you know what? I just give up. You've seen it. That was great. They ult did not save him.
He didn't do it.
He didn't ult.
He didn't ult. Oh, Lava Cookie! Cookie!
To be fair, did Nyx have ult? Nyx had ult, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my
So-
God. We got talking about the bug.
I know.
Oh.
I know. I think Nyx had ult, so she might have figured that even if I ult here, it won't save anybody. So I should probably just die and come back with ult because it's 3-3, which means it's technically 0-0.
But Loteb, man, way low on health.
I know. Low
It's
tip.
a
Well,
very interesting decision there.
pretty
very
sure low
interesting.
tip goes down because I think Nyx can sneak a shot around the
Well,
corner.
no, Snick decided to use Trap there, hoping that Lotib would go through it. Lotib smartly
I
just
think
going the other direction.
This
In range,
Nyx ult here is going to kill Lotib and Nick, Rampart, and Lockwood, but Lockwood's going to dash
Yeah,
out.
Lockwood's going to dash out. But yeah, Alek finally... See, this is why you just hold on to your ult.
This
Just
is
hold
why.
on
Is
to
this
'em.
why?
For this situation right here. Oh, man. So we're going to see... we're gonna see Frost dash out of the
Oh,
way.
man.
Even if Nyx didn't have ult here, he was gonna dash because of all the damage.
Lotib's running the shield on overcharge too, and picking up 2 healths here. If Zuki doesn't run and pick up that health, then it looks like Lotib's gonna be just fine. Might be in a bad position.
Yeah,
but
look at all that healing. Really good.
wow.
I like Remny. Alex saying he doesn't have vision like we do. So that's actually a really good point, is we're running it from Red Team's perspective, and what he was just saying there is he could only see Lockwood. And that's one of the things that we can work on with the casting is switching between the different teams so you
Right.
see vision.
Absolutely.
Because it's a really important part where from our perspective, we're like, oh my God, if I'm low tib, and it shows you from the red team's perspective, if I'm low tib, I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you really got to know how many squares vision is to know that, like, okay, Alek can't see me.
You know who has a great graphic for that? Avaki.
does?
Avaki.
Excellent.
If you join the Discord, you can actually see Avaki. You can talk to him and ask for that vision chart.
All right, so we're on turn 19 right now.
That was a
3-3.
great. I mean, it won't stop the fusion pulse, but that was a great ult.
Getting
Got
in
some
there.
damage.
Yeah, but
Fusion
Alek's
pulse,
like,
though.
I don't care about your shield.
Right. He's
just
got
gonna
an
go straight through it.
experimental. He's got an experimental bullet that goes
Boom,
straight
boom.
through. That was huge.
Oh yeah, Frost taking serious damage there.
And Frost just uses dash, so Frost, if he doesn't pull out an ult pretty soon, is going to be in a tough position.
Yeah, when he's got a lot of energy to go for that, and so does have his catalyst up though, so shift is still available.
Right.
I like how PG keeps it real. He's like, the real reason is VFX rendering issues.
That's not
too
true,
much
Piju.
awesomeness.
Don't tell them that. The truth is too much awesomeness and too concentrated
Too
of a
small
yeah.
of a space. All right, so they're on turn 20. So this is interesting. 3-3. Next kill wins, which really ups the stakes, right? Earlier in the game, Frost might have just been able to take the death here and trade for damage, but Frost cannot die unless he's getting a full trade
Right.
kill for kill at this point.
Now, it looks like Frost, instead of shifting to one of the camouflage pads, which I would normally think is a good thing, he's actually going to be shifting behind a wall and putting most of the team on the other side of the wall, which is pretty great.
Yeah, I like that, especially as Lockwood, because now you've got your bounce shot in play. Really good. It was interesting to see Aurora there actually go for Lotib instead of Lockwood. I would have liked to have seen him try to guess where Frost was going to flash to and put some damage down there.
Right.
I would have guessed wrong. I would have guessed
Then
the
again,
invisible
forcing
pads on
them
the
to
left
use
side.
it is also a good thing
Oh, it's
because
great.
it's at the cost of a primary, which is technically no cost.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like, I think Quark his tether still remains, and that's bad news bears for Talonite here.
Talonite sitting on ult, but doesn't have the range to hit Frost, I don't think here. We're going to do what I just talked about and switch teams.
He
and
does.
We're going to see what Talonite's going to do. All right, Talonite is going to hop
He's
out
got
of the way,
to.
which is really smart because that tether on Lava Cookie is just, I mean, it's death. It's literally death for him.
Yep.
I like Alek's move here, putting down a trap to try to hit Frost since he can't do direct damage. So that's a really good move. All right.
Low tip overcharging, choosing not to do any damage, but keeping that damage up next turn.
A really interesting trap there. I feel like that was a little bit of a panic from Frost trying to do something to hit Zuki, but the tether's going to take her out. So I'd hold on to the trap there and try to position it after you see where Zuki goes on the dash. Low tip, a lot of damage there that was taken, but now sitting on ult. Oh no! Did Lockwood just go through that trap?
Lockwood
It was.
just
He just walked
through a
through the
trap.
trap. So Alek's gamble played off.
Wow. Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't. I
Frost.
honestly, that wasn't even
Frost,
like on
no.
my radar. It wasn't on my radar. I was already thinking this turn, L's going to do a 3-person ult here. That's going to be great. But the game is over. 4v3.
Exactly. What a trap by
What?
Alek. And what's funny is
didn't even
this
see
is
it.
Atlas Reactor in a nutshell. I
Right.
was just about to criticize. I was like, I kind of wanted to see Alek actually do the damage there
Yeah.
to L, get her low,
Yeah.
rather than gambling with the trap. But Alek's smarter than I am. Put out that trap, was
Wow.
able to hit Frost. Really, really nice.
Really solid. So let's look at some damage points here. We've got, it was 4-3. Let's look at the damage. Damage seems pretty even across the teams. Little low from Aurora and on the higher end for
Which makes
Quark,
sense.
which makes sense. But both with pretty much the same score, and a little bit more healing coming out of Quark here, which unfortunately wasn't quite enough. Actually, if you look at it, the amount of healing on the red team is pretty impressive, and yet still wasn't quite enough to outlive the blue team's damage.
Yeah, and you actually see the things that you want to see in a match here, which is why it was close. You know, you see a Quark with quite a bit of healing, you see a Rampart that took a decent amount of damage, and you see your Firepowers putting out damage. Obviously, for Frost, you'd like to see a little bit more damage, but he was being very good about staying out of the way.
Right.
And again, it's a really good example of sort of, I think people see the plays early game and they think like, oh, well, now it's game over, you know, one team's screwed. I was all over Alek for his movement
know.
at the beginning, and who won the game?
Yeah.
Alek with that trap.
Absolutely.
So,
And if you look too, damage received is pretty high across the board. I'm actually impressed that there weren't more kills. That's a lot of damage across the board. Oftentimes you'll see like one carry, one of the firepower characters with like 200 sub damage, which
Yeah.
can be, I mean, that can often win you the game just by having that. Now, Zuki was able to take the least amount of damage out of everybody, which probably attributed to, including that 469 damage, probably contributed to the win there.
Yeah.
I love it. That was great.
That was a
great
very,
match.
very good match.
Yeah.
Showing the traps, showing the predicts. I like it a lot. And again, I think it shows the value of turns too. You know, I was giving a lot of credit to Frost for staying alive, but unfortunately what that meant is that he also spent a lot of turns sort of wandering around the map, not really doing any damage, just trying to get his
150
health
less
back.
damage essentially than he probably should have done that round.
Yeah, and so there's an interesting trade-off there, which is you feel like, oh, good, I survived, but if you stay out of the action for too long,
Right.
It can be bad for your team. So big kudos to Blue Team for pulling that out, because quite frankly, I thought they were buried early. I
Absolutely.
thought they were screwed. So.
Yeah, to have your Rampart deal more damage than your firepower means that the enemy team successfully pressured the firepower.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was great. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for coming to play with us, and thank you so much. Yeah, I want to know why Lockwood has 25 healing. I mean,
Second win, probably.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
see, actually. It's either one of his mods or second win would have contributed to that
Turtle Tech
healing.
as well. If he had Turtle Tech taking damage, right, that contributes. Let's
So,
see. We
I
can actually see it right
look
here.
at it. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
Healing
so
received, yeah, so
55
shielded.
received shielding
Shielded.
damage was 25.
Yep. So it's Turtle Tech. Perfect.
25 effective and 30 total.
Yep.
So that's exactly why.
All right. Well, again, James, thank you so much for dressing up for the occasion and looking dapper.
Anytime.
And I'll just rock this any day. That's fine.
Yeah, and so which is a good call just to wrap up. If you guys haven't seen the tournament, the Prep Phase League tournament stuff, they have everything online. Go on Twitch/PrepPhase.
Actually, I
and you can watch the
don't know that they
rebroadcast.
have them up yet.
You sure? Someone from Prep Phase should
Yeah,
talk
someone
about
from
that.
Prep Phase, please. If you have those links up, just let us know, and I'll be sure to tweet those out as well. I did just update the Prep Phase League playlist on our YouTube channel, so youtube.com/Atlas Reactor. Then we have a Prep Phase playlist, which has all of the videos as well, in case you want to go there. Let's see what else is going on.
Yeah, what I would do is invite people that aren't in Discord already. Hop in Discord. That's where we talk a lot. The devs are in there. Great
Right.
community right now. Most of the people people that we're playing in these games I see in Discord fairly often and talk with them. So if you're not part of the Discord community, you can get it from the patch notes. There's a link to Discord. It's also in a number of places.
Yes.
And then hop on the Reddit.
Yeah, because if you guys don't know, the people who moderate the community Discord also moderate the community Reddit, and they're great people and they're doing a great job. Shout out to Kiwi, Maltroth, and Trimantha, and I don't think I'm missing anybody else. And if you guys go and want to have a discussion, and it starts being a really interesting discussion in the Discord, hop over to the Reddit and get the rest of the community involved, because that's where you're going to get a lot of the changes that we're going to listen to.
Yeah.
It's hard in Discord. It's a little bit ephemeral. Things are said and then lost, and I try to scan through those. But honestly, the best place is to have more community members discussing it, and probably on the Reddit would be the
posting
best
on
place.
Reddit so it sticks around is super awesome.
Link
for
to the
us.
Discord, yeah, let me grab that for you right now, and then we're going to hop offline, so I'll be sure to post that in just 1 second. Thank you guys for joining us. Come Friday at 2:30 p.m. PDT, same time, same place as this stream, except on Friday, and we're going to be talking about our progression changes. We're going to be talking about our free mode edition, and maybe a little bit more about Trust Wars update, and then obviously we're going to try to recap the tournament a little bit more.
Yeah, bring your questions. That
Yes.
will be where we get to answer the most questions, is that Friday stream.
Absolutely.
So
You guys have
check it
direct
out.
access to the devs on the live stream, so make sure you come Friday and check that out and tell your friends. All
Arnie
right,
says patch hype, patch hype!
Patch hype! All right, we're out. See you guys.
Thanks for playing.